Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Simon Götzen and I'm recording Simon Says for MTGOcademy.com, where we'll have this little intro and then a draft of Theros. And the Pro Tour has just finished with, sadly, not too much being said about the new limited format, with Standard stealing the spotlight in a sense, which is understandable. But there were little tiny bits of pieces that the pros said about the format. Some of them cried revolutionary when you listen to Christian Calcano calling Magma Jet virtually unplayable, but also some more general things, and those that stood out to me were how to approach the format during the early picks. And the big question that you have to answer for yourself is how high of a variance do I want my early picks to have, not only in regards to power level from early through mid to late game, but also with regards to how likely am I to play this card in the end. And of course, just from a probability perspective, if you pick a double colored card or a card with an off-color activation card, which is effectively a gold card as well, you're just going to be less likely to end up in exactly these two colors. Whereas if you pick a single colored card, you have a pretty good shot at just ending up in a two-color combination that manages to cast the appropriate card. Given that it's your first pick, it's probably a powerful card, so that draws you into the color, but it's not clear. It's much less clear if you pick up a double colored card, because out of the 10 2-mana color combinations, you're just going to be in one of them, most likely. Now, what Wizards have done is to put a two-colored uncommon from all of the possible two-color combinations in this set. And most of these are pretty good and limited. Battlewise Hoplite, definitely. Shipwreck Singer. Sentry of the Underworld, maybe a little less. Krogma Warcaller is a Minotaur Lord, which I think is still quite underrated. It's a very powerful effect. And then we have Farika's Mender, a Crone Hoplite, Chronicler of Heroes, and Horizon Chimera, with Destructive Revelry probably not being a very early pick. A lot of these cards could be picked up really early, and they are quite good in their respective decks. The Blue-White Heroic deck, Black-Blue Control, Green-Black, Grindy, and of course the Minotaur deck, and so on. So the big question is, how early do you jump into a two-color combination? How early do you want to pick up these uncommons in particular? Or are you sticking with some of the single-colored cards because you want the consistency and you want to read the draft? So this is about forcing and surfing in a respect, but it's also about just being on the safe side of things. Now, given how many playables there are in Theros, it sounds that wasting one of your picks for a potentially high upside card isn't the worst idea, but on the other hand, you might just want that first pick in your deck simply because, well, a lot of playables also means that there's a lot of mediocre cards and cards that don't really stand out. So if you can manage to have the cards that do stand out in your deck, it's going to make your deck a lot better overall. And that's why Sam Black, I believe, has said that in a pack with Shipwreck Singer, he would much rather take a good card with only a single color. He would only consider first picking Shipwreck Singer if there wasn't a good single colored card in the pack, which I find quite interesting, because I think that Shipwreck Singer in the right deck, in the right blue-black deck, of course, is quite amazing. So this just shows you what you have to think about early on in the draft, when it's the question if you want to be surfing, or if you want to be if you are willing to be a little more aggressive with picking your colors. And of course that can backfire, but it's the two sides of the spectrum. You just have to decide where you want to be, and I don't think that we have seen the final answer yet. But this is, I think the uncommon cycle here, this 10-card cycle, really exemplifies this question, with, it seems, the pros tending towards the single-colored cards, which might be worth it, but I can definitely see cases for first pick in Battlewise Hoplite. Well, Kragma Warcall I've seen go around really late, but maybe if you want to draft the Minotaur deck, that's what you want. And Horizon Chimera, also quite a fine card. And this is only the uncomes. There's other great gold cards on at the higher rarities also. Okay, with that in mind, let's jump into the draft. To serve or not to serve, that's the question. And then I'll be back in 2 weeks. Bye bye.